Hello, and welcome to The Rightest Leftist with Nathan Ogilvie, the podcast for the politically homeless. In this headlines episode, we're going to have a look at a story that's rocking US politics, and also this will be the first video of the channel that moves away from the Australian focus, and we're going to look at the US in this video and see if it's something that I'd like to continue doing because I have a real interest in it. And I think this story is maybe not the thing that will bring down Donald Trump, but it's huge, and it sort of goes into the core of, I think, why people support Trump, and also why I think people shouldn't support Trump based on what we're going to discuss. So it is about Jeffrey Epstein, and just a photo here to show the two besties in the past. Jeffrey Epstein, depending on the story you believe, was a wealthy financier who worked his way up through society and lived in New York and Florida and various other locations. But what it seems to be, and I think it is what I believe is a real conspiracy, was that he was actually some form of agent for Mossad, which is basically the CIA intelligence agency for Israel. And I will say here, when I talk about Israel, I'm not talking about the Israeli people or Jewish people in general. I'm talking about the government. As you've seen in my other videos, I'm very critical of my own government as an Australian. I love the people and citizens of countries, and I'm very critical of their governments. But it does seem very fishy that Jeffrey Epstein had a close relationship with a lot of high-profile figures, and there are known accusations of his sexual abuse of children. What we're looking at now with the headlines is his relationship with Donald Trump. And why is that important? Because Donald Trump is a president of the United States, the leader of the free world, and essentially the most powerful person on planet Earth who could and is causing a lot of damage across the world, not just the USA. So the timeline, essentially, the facts that we do know, because I want to be fair and look at the facts as they are. The Trump-Epstein timeline, the things that we do know was that there is footage of Trump hosting a party at Mar-a-Lago, his property in Florida, and there's video footage. We've got the photos. The video footage is there in the photos. The flights with Epstein, he was on the flight logs. And in 2002, in a New York Magazine profile, he praised Epstein as a terrific guy, and with the quote, "He likes beautiful women, many of them on the younger side." There's a photo from that. That's a still. There's a video from that party. That's a still from 1992, coincidentally the year I was born, of Trump and Epstein, basically best friends. Around that 2002 profile time, this is sort of the early Celebrity Apprentice days, somewhere between 2002 and 2004-ish. There's another photo of Trump with Melania, who I think in that photo was not his wife yet, but then with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, who's still currently alive in prison, and maybe starting to give some names of all the people that were on Jeffrey Epstein's flight log to his island, where it is known that children were sexually abused. The more modern timeline, so the part of Jeffrey Epstein that we know is true when he pleaded guilty in 2018 for soliciting prostitution from an underage girl and served 13 months in jail. And around that time, it's reported, so to give fairness to Trump, that he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, allegedly over a dispute involving a club member's daughter. It's really hard to find, like with a lot of things around Trump, what actually happened. There is a stream of argument that says it was actually more about a property they were both trying to bid on, and it had nothing to do with what was going on in Epstein's personal life. But at that time, and from then, there really is no record of Trump and Epstein being friends anymore from about 2008 onwards. In 2016, there was a sexual assault allegation. A woman filed a lawsuit accusing Trump of raping her when she was 13 at a party in Epstein's home in 1994. I'm going to link the footage of her deposition because it's pretty harrowing and disgusting what this woman described. In fairness to Trump, she dropped the suit in November 2016, very coincidentally around the time of the election, and Trump denies that allegation. Now, with witness intimidation and things like that, I'm very personally skeptical as to why she dropped that case. The reason that officially she gave was threats to her security and personal safety. And if I was in a situation where I had a really powerful person who was just about to become president, allegedly making threats against me, dropping a case and it being true or not, I think is two things we need to separate. Then in 2019, while Trump was president, Jeffrey Epstein died in jail. He was arrested on new sex trafficking charges in July 2019, and then he died by hanging in his jail cell the following month, so in early August. Trump later promotes a baseless conspiracy that claims Epstein was murdered, and he's actually now gone back on that, and the official word from the FBI and his Justice Department is that Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself. That's where we are. That's a bit of the history, but where we are today and why the news has resurfaced is that with Elon Musk separating ties with Donald Trump and actually starting a new party to try and bring Trump down, he talked about how Trump is in the Epstein files. Trump's Department of Justice head, so basically his attorney general, who's sort of the chief lawyer of the United States now, made a claim or a statement a couple of months ago that they have the Epstein files on their desk and they're sorting through them. And now apparently, depending on the story that Trump's trying to try out and make the public believe, there either are no files, the files were created by the Democrats like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton to bring him down, or they're just the complete fake altogether. Now, the problem with this and why I think it goes to the heart of the whole Donald Trump thing, and I am preparing a 2-hour video on Trump, the psychology of Trump and Trumpism, and where that's going to go in the world, whether it's going to continue after Donald Trump dies or not. What is at the heart of the Donald Trump appeal is that he's an anti-establishment figure. He talks about how the elites are corrupt and that he's going to bring all of that corruption down, otherwise known as the deep state. And this is why I equally get frustrated and empathetic towards conspiracy theories is there is definitely such a thing as the deep state. It's just not what it's described. So it's not this sort of cabal of people that are working together in a back room like that cliche. It's actually just quite boring, and everything I've been describing about big business and media ownership and multi-billionaires working alongside the government, doing deals with each other. It's not some giant conspiracy. But the thing is, Trump has sold it that way all along, and now he's being tied up. Because I think all he has to do, if he wasn't associated with Jeffrey Epstein as he's claiming, and because basically I think the claim seems to be that Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, Jeffrey Epstein worked for them to get compromising material, like these people having sex with children on video, so then they could use it as blackmail. And if you see Trump's pro-Israel stance, it is a little bit, if you put all those facts together, it seems quite logical. And so wouldn't it just be easy for Trump to just release them? Just put it all out there and let the public see. But he's refusing to do that and trying to move away from it. He's now making statements like, oh, let's stop talking about it, Jeffrey Epstein. We've got other things to worry about and move on from. But his whole claim and what he was doing in 2024 to get elected, when he went on Joe Rogan and other podcasts, was talking about this big deep state conspiracy and that he'll release the files when he gets in. So what happened? Well, I think if we're going to come down to it and be sensible and logical, and taking the words of Elon Musk, who was his basically co-president, Trump is in the files. His name is in there. We know that from the flight logs. But I think there must be something that he's hiding. Because if he isn't, why not release the files? Wouldn't that be the easiest thing to do? Put them out there, show the world that you're not in them, and then we can all move on. But he knows the truth. And that's why he's in this position, because his base and Trump voters, this is the heart of the conspiracy. And they're really struggling to put it back together in a logical consistency where somehow Trump now isn't in those files and associated with Jeffrey Epstein. But if we go back to this picture, it seems to be a case of ex-besties. And even though Jeffrey Epstein died physically, his ghost is going to be haunting Trump for a long time still. And I think this is something that if you're on the left or anti-Trump or even just pro-Trump, we need to not let this go. Keep this story in the news until we find out what's going on. And I think ultimately we will know what happened. Whether it's in Trump's lifetime or presidency or not, that remains to be seen. But I'm going to make sure that I can do all I can to keep this news story as well, because it really speaks to the heart of the corruption in US politics. And I think Trump is just the tip of the iceberg, but he's a big part of it, and the truth needs to come out. Hope you enjoyed this video on Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. This is The Rightest Leftist with Nathan Ogilvy. Please like, comment, and subscribe on any format that you're viewing this, and we will talk again very soon.